like, not to give our parents shit, but like they had their own journey, and then we built on that, and then our kids will build on our journey.
Totally, man.
Yeah.
And our parents built on their parents big time.
Yeah.
That's something that I always have to remember, because like if I look to my grandparents' era, they just like hit their kids and like were like yelling and being mean all the time. I don't want to say about everyone. Obviously, I love
No. But it
my
was
grand.
much more acceptable.
Not just acceptable, it was probably like socially important in a weird way. Like if you were the one that didn't hit your kids, imagine how everyone else looking at you like, like, oh, I guess you're just a bad parent then. Like
Yeah.
that's the thing. I was talking about that the other day, actually. In fact, it's kind of a huge subject, but we were talking parenting styles, and obviously we're going to explore with gentler parenting styles. And I was
Mm.
speaking with somebody who was saying that back in her day, the doctors themselves would say, for example, only feed your kid every 4 hours. So if the child is crying at 3 hours, no accommodation, set the clock at 4 hours on the dot. That's when you're allowed to feed them. But of course, humans don't run on like clock time like that, right? Like there is an internal mechanism of a need and that sort of thing. And then the other one was that if your kid needs to poop but can't, you hit them, and the doctors would tell you. But here's the thing: is at first I actually felt quite disgusted when I heard both of those things. I was like offended. I was like, I was looking at my own son, like looking at this
Yeah.
precious being and being like, you, how could anybody do that to somebody? But then it actually is actually a huge teaching, because it actually made me understand though that if they didn't do those things, people would have been mad at them.
Mm.
Not just like a little thing where you're like, oh, like you shouldn't do that. People would be like, you're, I might call the police on them for not doing that. It's like, it's when people say that in the past, for example, when somebody's racist or homophobic or obviously something that's obviously not cool today, but they were before. And then we say, well, they were a product of their time. And a lot of the social justice people get upset. They're like, no, fuck that. It was wrong then, it's wrong now. And I'm like, yes, I know. Obviously, if we're using our objective perspective and having gone through this, all the societal growth,
Absolutely.
of course. But when you're in a situation in the past, that is what's going on. It just is. Like it's, you can't, it's so subconscious. It's so ingrained into the conditioning that you don't, it's not like you were like, I think I'll hit my child because I think that's a good thing to do. It's just what was going on. And I
Yeah.
think it's short-sighted to get mad at people for those things from the past. Obviously we can air our grievances and we can look back and think, I would thank God we've progressed beyond that, thank God we've gone to a new place. But then taking the individuals of those eras and really harping on them in particular, I've always found just a bit short-sighted, because like what in this era is going to look like that 10 years from now?